Morning YouTubers, how you doing? Right, just show you what I've been up to. This is, I'm just standing in the entrance at the moment and looking at the far wall. So I've got a few walls done, and this is a wall that's just been lime rendered. It's got logs on there, and just plugged up the fixing holes, so that's all covered up. And I've left this top for the moment primarily because I've got a log that I'm just preparing to go above, to put on the window just above there as a bit of window detail. But this has come up really nice. Basically what I've done is got the logs in here. These are about, well, that one's probably about 6 inches in diameter. 5 or 6 of those down there. I've panelled up the back, or the spaces in between, put a layer of gypsum on there, which is a base plaster, and then I've lime rendered over that. So that looks really nice, really pleased with that. This will be part of the toilet. That's inside the bathroom area there. I put a little top window in, just need to give it a clean, so that opens outwards. That fits nicely. Lime rendered all in here, that's all done. Lime rendered around the sort of toilet area yesterday, so that's sort of drying off. And what I need to do is sort of cut an aperture there for the toilet, and then the toilet seat will go on top. Little window in here, that's all finished, all limed. There you go, another angle. So there'll be a wall in front of this space, and that will separate the bathroom. Not quite sure how I'm going to do it to this corner yet, because I quite like this corner, but I dare say I'm going to probably have to bring some sort of wood out here somewhere so I can have a pillar upright for a door support, which will have to come out a little bit, but I'll sort that out nearer the time. So this is done, lime rendered, put that log in there over the window tomorrow, and hopefully get that sorted out. Got the top bit to finish off there, and that needs just to be lime rendered up and sort of cleaned up around that window before that's sort of fully finished. But this bit's all done. So I'll walk outside, just show you what I've done out at the back. Excuse me. Now done quite a bit of recycling here actually, because I've used about 18 pallets, chopped them up. So there we go, this is the back of a wall, limed up a few weeks ago, still curing, still going off. And this is the back of the toilet area, or the back of that log wall I've just shown you there. Just step back, and that's the roundhouse so far. So all this wall is constructed out of recycled pallets, and they're just sort of laid up like shingles basically. This side lime rendered yesterday, that's the window up there I just showed you. I just need to remove this plastic liner on there just to get that off, sort that out. But this is almost done round here now. Just need to tidy up that glass, get the lime off there, but that's all done and dusted all around here. This door, just need to give it a wipe down, but that's a little hatch. And that will be for the compost toilet, so all the sort of smells and odours will be contained within that box within the interior, and then the toilet can be emptied by an access point here, so it keeps all the odours outside. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this wall. This has come on pretty well. Just need to sand down top bit there with the orbital sander, and I've got a panel of wood there that's been rendered up with cement. That's got a real tough coat on there, so any sort of drips and rain-offs come off on there. Need to finish off that bit of roof on the top there as well, and then I need to put another piece of wood extending from that sort of concrete piece on the right, going down a bit, so it just covers that timber. So I need a bit of timber. I've got little bits of jobs to finish off just around the roof space and just around the tops, but that will be done fairly soon. That's fairly quick, but most of it is actually finished off. There's a little skirting down the bottom there, which I'll cover up with a lime that's got cement on it. And that's really just to allow water to run off. But there we go, gives you a bit of a close-up view going up to the window. And then these timbers, what I'll do is once this dries off a bit more, I just skim over there with a sanding brush, and that will just tidy up the timbers and they'll just show through in a bit more detail. Just lime rendered this piece up this morning, just filling in a bit of a void there because that overlaps quite a bit. Just give you a different angle. There you go, it's looking down, it's around the base of the timber. And just looking up there like that. So that's the exterior of the bathroom. That's the wall I've just shown you, the log wall. Well, it's log wall on the inside and there's recycled pallets on the outside. And that will be covered up in a lime wash eventually, so I'll let my daughter tackle that one day. Get herself some gloves and glasses and she can put some lime wash on there. And this is the other wall to the back of the toilet. So quite a bit's been done. That's just looking in, just from the outside. So in the next phase, apart from doing those jobs I've just mentioned, once they're done, because I like to finish one wall at a time and before I move on to the next, is tackle this one and then the one next to it. Now the idea is, so I've got a canvas over there at the moment just covering the timber on the top there where I've stripped. What I'm going to do is just lay logs down a bit like that wall there, but what I'll do is I'll hew the logs, which means I'll basically level them off a bit more to stack up on the outside here. That base timber that you're looking at now, that's essentially not bearing any load, and it won't bear any load because that's close to the ground. So if any timber is going to rot, it's going to be that one. So what I'll do is I'll fix the timber above to these pillars either side, and they'll sort of build upwards, and obviously I've got to fill that void as I go along. But I'll lay one log down first here, lay one log down next to that, and just carry it along so I can cut them in together, because if I build one wall at a time, I think it's just going to be a little bit more tricky to get them to join up in the corners, because I want them to be quite neat, even though they will have some sort of lime render over there. But that's about it. I've done about as much as I can do at the moment today. I've run out of juice on my power tools. Really pleased with this lime rendering, that's gone off lovely. The walls turned out better than I anticipated actually. It's always difficult to judge in your mind how it will be, but at the moment, because that window's in quite a big flat space, it's relatively flat, that plaster above there, i.e. doesn't really have any contours in it. Excuse me. The reason I'm going to put this log in, or not this log, this branch, which I've sanded down, it's got some interesting features on there, like a big gnarly hole like that and sort of nodules all over it. So what I'm going to do is fix that over the window, and then that'll just give it a little bit more detail, just break up the line, similar to the one I did on the bathroom one there. They don't really serve any function structurally speaking, but they just make it look a little bit more interesting. So I'll put that in tomorrow, plaster it in, and I might actually use that for a little shelf to go over the window, you know, so I can put some night lights on there or something like that in the evening. The idea is for this corner to have a wood stove. I've got that now, and it's an 8.8 kilowatt stove, and that's approximately 55 centimeters wide. So that will go in there at an angle, and hopefully that wall there will sort of be able to sustain any heat coming off it. But I need to make sure that I've got enough distance from that wall for the chimney space. So that's the reason why I haven't finished this part of the roof yet, because I might have to take this panel off for the chimney slot. So that wall's done. Just give you a bit close up. What I've done is put a little step around the bottom there, which has got some cement on it underneath, and that's angled up, and then I've lime rendered it, and that's really substantial, and it's got some big timber under there as well, just to make sure that the log doesn't move also. So you can't really see the log very well because there's so much lime render on it and plaster, but there we go, that's from a different angle. And obviously next I need to cut the loo hole for the loo seat to go on here. This has worked out quite well, this corner. There's just enough sort of space. I've made the loo seat for my height, so it's a bit high for most people, unfortunately, so I might have to put a little step down in the bottom. And then the next thing also, once I've done those walls, is I need to build a wall out here of some sort for the to separate the bathroom from the rest of the roundhouse. But lots to do, a couple of walls to do there, and also I need to think about getting a long timber to go from this pillar here, this from the side there, that needs to go all the way over to that fat log over there, and that's approximately 6 meters in length there. So I need to get a log going across that is not too big but really substantial strength wise, which can support a mezzanine floor. Did make a bit of a mistake on this corner, or actually the ring beam itself, I should have probably made it about 3 inches taller. So I'm going to have an interesting time getting the log sorted out going across there. But anyway, lots of little problems. Usually if you sleep on it and think about it, you can sort it out the next day. So that's it. Not much really else to show you now. So tomorrow I'll get that log in over the window, get this wall finished, limed up, leave it for a few days, and then I need to tackle many other jobs. But it's looking good. That's the roof, that's the light, or the ceiling light. I'm quite pleased with that. Looks a bit odd, but it chucks in loads of light. And there's another window here. So at the moment I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 windows in. My God, yeah. Far more than I realised. I thought it was 7. But there we go, I've got 8 windows in, and I've still got windows to go in on every other side. So I think it's going to be plenty of light coming in, which I'm really pleased about. But get these walls done, and I'm on the home run now. So I've essentially got 3.5 walls to do, because that one's sort of half done. But yeah, looking good. That's the window, and that's what I've done today. So I'm going to be off now, can't do any more, run out of power on my power tools, sanding down this log, and I didn't bring my chainsaw with me because otherwise I would have chopped down a tree and got it ready for start doing this mezzanine and or the wall, depending on the size of the log that I get. But yeah, that's it, I'm going to have to shoot now. I'll talk to you soon. See you then.